What's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to go over a free game that is available right now over on GOG. It's actually a trilogy of games with Eye of the Beholder, Dungeons & Dragons, DRM free at GOG. There's a Resident Evil week sale going on at Games Planet that is quite good. And I haven't talked about this, even though this is a little bit dated news. Kingdoms of Amalur: Ray Reckoning has been announced for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. You're going to get an opportunity to revisit one of my favorite RPGs of all time. We'll talk that briefly at the end of this video. But first of all, again, Eye of the Beholder, Dungeons & Dragons is available right now as a freebie over on GOG. Now, this game came out all the way back in 1991, the games, I should say. Eye of the Beholder 2, The Legend of Darkmoon, and Eye of the Beholder 3, Assault on Myth Drainer. Now, I am not a big fan of D&D. It's really not my cup of tea. However, the Forgotten Realms world of Dungeons & Dragons has been home to many a hero and imagination since its publication, producing adventures and stories to be retold and enjoyed for years to come. The Forgotten Realms Archive Collection 1 allows you to journey through one such set of adventures, the Eye of the Beholder trilogy, a set of first-person real-time role-playing games. Obviously, if you go into these games graphically, they are not anything to write home about, given that they came out in the early 90s, but if you're into old-school RPGs and D&D, hey, maybe this is going to be something that you do end up enjoying. It looks like it's going to be free for the next 2 days or so, just under 2 days, so head on over to GOG and do pick that up. Alright, next up, Resident Evil week sale over on Games Planet. Now, this is an awesome sale. A lot of games super cheap at new lows. Resident Evil 3, seeing a new low, it's 45% off for $33. I was not a big fan of this game. They changed a lot from Resident Evil 3, the original game. It's still good, but it's also a very short game. Unlike Resident Evil 2, you don't have two different campaigns. And yeah, you might say, oh, we have a multiplayer component, but that multiplayer component, I don't know about that one. I don't think that really extends the value all that much. Still a good game. I probably would wait for it to be a little bit cheaper, but if you've been eyeing it for a while, not a bad pickup by any means. Resident Evil 2, on the other hand, must-own game, $16, 60% off. I believe this is a new low for the game. Resident Evil 2 is phenomenal. If you want to see how a quality remake should be done, Resident Evil 2 is that. I would say Final Fantasy VII Remake is also that, but then that game is just kind of crazy, and I don't want to get into spoilers on that, since I'm sure a lot of you guys are waiting on the PC version next year. Nevertheless, Resident Evil 2 is a great game, and I would highly recommend you to play that, and for $16, it's quite good. Deluxe edition of that is $20. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, the Gold Edition, is $17, while the base game is $9. The base game for $9 is great. Obviously, we recently had the announcement of Resident Evil Village, and that looks really good, but RE7 really brought the Resident Evil franchise back to the spotlight, and it was a quality game at that. After the horrendousness, if that's a word, of Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 7 really turned things around, and it was a high-quality title. For $9, I think it's a great buy, so definitely give that a look if you have yet to. RE5, on the other hand, $444, great deal. RE4 Ultimate HD Edition, $444. Gold Edition of RE5 is also $642. Revelations, which I think is incredibly underrated, is $6. That used to be a Nintendo 3DS title, received really well over there, saw a port on PC, and the port was pretty good, and the game itself is just really good. Obviously, technically speaking, its essence is still a 3DS title, so it doesn't, blow anyone away in visual regards, but it's still a good game. Revelations 2, which was an episodic release, the deluxe edition of that is $12.50, Resident Evil 0 is $4.44, and then the RE1 HD remaster is $6.99. RE2, definitely the standout. RE7 would highly recommend. Resident Evil 4, I love that game. It was my favorite Resident Evil until RE2 got remade, and there are rumblings that it's going to be remade, RE4 that is, in 2022, so maybe you want to hold off on that still. It's a quality game that I would still recommend, and RE5 in its own right is pretty good as long as you're playing with a buddy. So check that sale out. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Lastly, Kingdoms of Amalur: Ray Reckoning was announced a couple weeks ago at this point, but this is a game that I must talk about. The fact that it's being brought back to the spotlight is so exciting. This was a game that released in February of 2012. Unfortunately, commercially, it wasn't a slam dunk, and the studio ended up going defunct. But the game itself was awesome. The people that played KOA all loved it, and this is a game that ever since THQ Nordic had acquired the rights to it, I have been wanting a remaster, a remake, a follow-up title. I understood that a follow-up title was probably unlikely unless they did a remaster and that remaster was received well. Why I like this game so much is the fact that, unlike a lot of other open-world RPGs that have slower combat, and that's fine, you can have slow-paced combat, Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning is totally different, where it's an open-world RPG, but at the same time, the movement is super swift, and on top of that, you've got fast and fluid gameplay that reminds you of a Devil May Cry game or one of the older God of War games, pre-2018 God of War, and it is just a blast to play. No, the story isn't anything to write home about, but the gameplay is so good, and there's a sizable amount of content, and it's just a fun game to play that I always wanted a follow-up title, or a remaster at the very least. It's going to come to PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, so whatever platform you have, definitely do check this out. August 18th, it'll be $39.99, and I think it's well worth it, especially if it does see a relatively decent visual facelift. It's going to come with the DLC as well, so that's pretty great. And the game itself, again, is just so awesome that I needed to give this a mention, even though I'm a little bit late to the party on it. But that's going to conclude this video, guys. Again, Eye of the Beholder, Dungeons & Dragons free on GOG, Resident Evil Week Sale over at Games Planet. Do check that out. And Kingdoms of Amalur getting a much-needed remaster. Very excited for that come August 18th. Reason for me to go back and give that game another look, because, hey, I have the original version, but much rather get like a remastered version if they can actually offer a nice visual facelift, even though remasters on PC are sometimes a meme. Nevertheless, hopefully, and maybe we can actually get this for free on PC if we already own the base game. Sometimes they do that. But that's going to wrap up this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, comment section is where you can put that, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.